It was back in the 1950s. I wasn't very old. Mom and Daddy was the kind of people to smooth things over, if you will. If anything spooky happened, they'd just say, it was the wind or the dog outside making some noise or something like that to keep us from getting scared. Well, one time, me and my friend Daisy were both real little, probably around 9 or 10. We was outside playing while Mama and Daddy visited with her mom and daddy. Well, across the road was an old outbuilding, barely stood, and Daddy always said stay away from it. You weren't safe. Snakes, just old age and whatnot. Well, we wandered up to the edge of the yard and was looking across the road and wishing we had it as a playhouse. We stood there talking, and about that time, these real long old fingers come out of the door, and it waved at us. We screamed and hollered like no end. Lord, our parents came out running. We told them what happened, and both our daddies ran across the road and yanked that old door plumb off its hinges. And there weren't a soul in there. But the way we were crying, they believed us. But they said from there on, stay away from it. And now we know why. Never seen anything like that after that. This next one is called May's Little Helper. Mama used to tell us a story about a little girl back in the mountains in the old days. A story about a little girl named May. Now, May used to love running around, following her mama around, and helping her do everything she could. And whenever May would help her mama, like with chores, carrying laundry out to the line, washing clothes, sweeping, dusting, just anything, her mama would always smile and tell her she was a good little helper. And oftentimes she'd smile at May and introduce her to folks as her precious little helper. Well, one day they was bored and went visiting. Now the folks they went to visit had a little boy. They said he was mean as a snake in the grass. Well, he got to picking on May. She kept telling him to leave her alone. She tried to hide from him, run from him, but he always found her and kept running her down, putting pine needles and pine rosin in her hair. Well, all of a sudden the grown-ups heard him belt out hollering. Well, when they went out there, he was screaming, and he held up his arm, and he had a huge bruise on his arm. It was in the size and perfect shape of a full-grown man's hand. They looked around everywhere, but there was no man around. Well, he was crying as hard as he could. Couldn't tell them anything. They found May under a tree. They asked May who done it. She smiled and said, my little helper. Man.
I need to get me a little helper.
I'm telling you, I need 3 or 4.
Yeah. Man. Both of those are really good.
Yeah. Great big shout out and thanks so much to my aunt who told me them the other day for the Spooky Appalachia collabs. And man, these was definitely awesome.
Mm-hmm. You said she's a fan of the channel?
Yep.
I guess she'll be hearing this. Well, we appreciate you sending these stories in. Pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
And Jared, thanks for conveying them to me.
Oh, no problem. Glad to do it.
And remember, if you've got a story, you can send it to spookyappalachia@gmail.com. Or snail mail, Spooky Appalachia, P.O. Box 569, Radford, Virginia 24143.
And try. And be sure and hit the like button like all the little helpers do.
Need
and
all the little helpers out there to
and
hit that
that's
like
right. That's right. Get those likes up. And be sure and share out. Tell all your friends, family. Uh, let all the other little helpers know that don't know about us and stuff. So be sure to subscribe and everything else.
Appreciate y'all coming by and listening. And don't forget, stay
Stay spooky.
Night, folks.